Hey y'all, it's Dolores, the pastor's daughter. I'm just getting ready for a live meeting today. We're going to be talking about church hurt. This is Jonathan Bates' show, The Uncomfort Zone. So we're going to tune into that today, and just wanted you guys to kind of catch the behind the scenes and see how I do this thing, see how frazzled I am. But we're gonna do this. Okay. I got my tea. Hi. Let me see. I ain't got no audio here. Okay, so do I do dial-in audio? Do I do it that way, or let me go with Zoom audio? Okay. Can you hear me? Jonathan, you there?
All right, let's see.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Let's see.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Jonathan is on mute.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No?
It's not on mute.
Yeah.
It's not the Zoom mute, so.
So it could be my phone on mute?
B, what's going on, man?
What is going on, Jesus? The
Lord.
See, I told you I'm
Sorry, what's
frazzled.
up, man?
I don't know what I'm doing.
You know what? Hold on. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, let's see. Why is it? You know what? Let me do this. It may not, Dolores, that may not even be on you.
Oh.
Say something else. That was on me.
Was it? Oh my God. You had me so frazzled. It's like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not all that techie.
What's up, Dolores?
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
Awesome. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. It's so good to see you. Yes, very long time. Very, very long time.
I've been able. I'm just happy y'all know each other.
Yeah, of course. I feel like I should, because it goes back and forth screens. I wish I could see you both at the same time.
You know what? I'm going to tell you what to do.
Okay.
Go to, on the upper right hand corner where it says view, and click on gallery view.
Okay. It's not giving me like in my upper right hand corner it gives me the option to leave. So
okay, what do you see on the bottom?
I see the 3 dots and microphone button, stop video button, share button. I need to share too, huh? And then participants. Let me see if
Click on the 3 dots then. Cause I'm able to look at everyone.
okay. Well, I'm on my cell phone, so maybe that's...
Oh, okay. That may be what it is.
Yeah. See, why would my... Babe, you know what I'm doing right now.
I thought it is not till 5.
Boy, bye.
Oh, alright.
So now I need to turn my ringer off. Of course, my kid calls. I'm just glad he called before we started.
Yeah. What I was about to say. Yeah, you can share this on your Facebook page too.
Okay.
And it'll come through and whatnot. So if you have friends and I don't have them, they can still see it.
Mm-hmm. So would you put it on airplane mode, or would you just like if you were on your cell phone doing this? Because I don't want.
Tommy, that's a good question. Because I've never done it.
Yeah, I didn't either. I know if you put it on airplane mode, it'll shut down internet and everything.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Not on airplane mode. Just
maybe I'll just turn the sound off.
Yeah, turn that. Yeah, just turn it down. I think that'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd probably be good. All right. So
it says for me only the host can share in this meeting. Is that
you need to share?
Yeah. Do I need to go on to to a different site and do it that way, or what?
No. When you say when I was saying share, simply meaning like if you wanted people on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted people on Facebook who I'm not friends with to see this live, then what you could do is what'd you say, Tommy?
No, I'm sorry, I was talking about.
Okay. What I could do is I make this public and I could tag you or figure out a way to tag you. That's what I was saying about that.
Okay, gotcha.
By sharing with people, your friends or whatnot. But let me go ahead and get started, because we're gonna start on time and end whenever it hits us to leave.
So will I be able to see your comments? Because you get live comments, right?
It'll be public, and so like what I'm gonna do is, for example, I'm gonna be on my phone looking at the comments, and since it's public, you should be able to go on my page and look at it also.
Okay.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out a way that I can go ahead and tag you. Hold on, right quick.
Okay.
Okay, let me go ahead and. Hey, Tommy, the last time that you was on, you was able to do that too. Just go on Facebook and look at the page and see the comment, right?
Right, yeah.
Sure.
Because I'm about to try to turn it on with my phone as well. Whenever you start sharing it, I'll be able to see it.
Oh, man, come on, man. All right, hold on. It's not going to happen to me right now. Okay, all right, let me try this. Okay, all right. Everybody go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and...
Why am I nervous like this is like my show?
You know you good. I know what you can do. You know you good.
I'm nervous.
Good.
Absolutely. I'm vouching.
Thank you so much.
Public. All right, we about to get started. Let's see.
Right.
Let me go ahead and... We live now. Let me go ahead and hit this right quick. And y'all let me know if y'all able to hear the music. Can y'all hear anything?
No, I can't hear anything yet, babe.
I don't know what's going on. Hold on. This would be the... Okay. I'm not even worried about it. I'm about to go ahead and just hop straight to it. Cool, bro. We don't need any music, no intro music. So let me go ahead and check this out right quick. Yeah, I see in the comments saying they don't hear the music. Yeah, we won't go ahead and get started without the music. Welcome to this episode of the Uncomfort Zone. I'm your host, Jonathan Bates. And as always, it's indeed an honor and a pleasure coming for you all. I have two very special guests that's going to drop a lot of knowledge, and we're going to talk about a very sensitive topic. So without further ado, I'm going to let our young lady come first and introduce herself, and then we'll let the young man go, and we're going to go from there.
Of course you would do ladies first. Well, my name is Dolores. And if you're looking for me, my name is Dolores, the pastor's daughter on YouTube, Dolores Michelle on Facebook. So just a little bit about me. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. I'm a certified mental health counselor. I currently don't work in that field because I got sick when I was in the military in 2012, which resulted in me being medically retired. I ended up getting fibromyalgia and some other things that just really made life difficult for me and made working difficult for me. And so I felt led to get a master's degree, and so I pursued that after I got out of the military. So that's where I got the clinical mental health counseling degree from. I'm actually a double PK. Both of my parents are pastors, and and have been pretty much my whole life. And so I come from that background. Also, we're talking about today church hurt, and just a little bit about that. I know a lot of people don't really imagine pastors' kids going through church hurt, but as we'll talk about tonight, I'm a pastor's kid who experienced church hurt, and so we'll be talking about that tonight. Yep, that's it.
Definitely gonna get into it. Yes, ma'am. Playing Tommy.
Hey everybody, my name is Tommy Harrison. I know Jonathan Bates through several years of cutting up through the middle high school. I currently living in Houston, Texas. A little bit about today, well, a little bit about me. I have been around mentoring and counseling probably for most of my life. It started even early in middle school, where I was known as a peer helper. So dealing with one-on-one with different people with issues, tackling my own issues, talking about different hurts and hiccups is part of what I've been doing my whole life. And I've been in church my whole life, literally my whole life. So what we're talking about today in church hurt, I think is a very relevant topic that we need to discuss. We can talk about it from a lot of different points of view. We're talking about how it affects our community as Black people. And I've been privy enough to be in situations where I've been in other churches as well, not just predominantly Black churches. So I definitely have the credence to talk about this on many different levels. So I think it's going to be a very controversial, but I think a very well needed conversation needs to happen.
I'm glad you said controversial, because I want to put this disclaimer out here right now. The purpose of this particular session on church hurt is not to attack the church. And if those, I know some people who attack the church, I know some people who despise the church, hate the church. That's not the purpose. The purpose of this particular podcast is to actually address an issue that needs to be addressed. And if anyone knows me, they know that if I present a problem, I may not have the answer, but we're going to at least try to create or come up with, think about, analyze some particular solutions. So that's the point of today's podcast, today's session, is to address a situation that needs to be addressed, not just expose and talk down on people, but because it's not called church hurt for a reason. It's for no particular reason. There's a reason why it's called church hurt. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the first topic. So what is church hurt?
Mr. Lawrence, you want to take it, or you want to?
Well, yeah. Okay, so pretty much, just like a basic definition is, it's hurt that is experienced between believers, right? But in my experience, it's just a simple definition. But in my experience, usually it's someone who has money, power, influence in the church. You know what I mean? So it could be like in my situation, right? I'm not the pastor, but I'm the pastor's daughter, right? So my position as his daughter, could it puts me in a different position. So if I hurt someone in the church, it's gonna hit a little different because it's coming from the pastor's daughter, So usually I find that it's people who have money, power, influence to in the church who can really hurt. More so than believers who just came into the church, and who are pretty much like on an equal faith level, so to speak. Yeah.
So with my definition, I have my own definition, but at the time, just for sake of everybody's understanding, I kind of got a broad definition, and I looked it up over the internet. So the best definition that I found that I kind of understood and kind of correlated with was a definition from a pastor, Emmett Price, and it reads as this. Church hurt is a term that refers to pain sometimes inflicted by religious institution. And then he went on to add a pain that distances sufferers from the communities and from God. So, even the aspect that, I kind of prefaced this earlier, we could go in a couple of different ways about church hurt. There are a lot of different factors, and it's a very, very loaded topic. You can go different ways, in a lot of different ways, how people are affected by the church hurt. So I'm going to take more of a pew from the pew to the pulpit type of approach, how people are hurt from church. I've seen it again. I've had the opportunity to be in many a congregation in many a different settings, and what I've found a common hurt is the hurt that you receive from other believers when you're not of the church mold. If you don't fit the dress code, or you're coming from a background that's not necessarily favorable in the eyes of church people, you get that window or that eye of judgment, and it really does make people pull back. And what's worse is they associate what people's frailties are to God Himself.
Right.
So it causes a rift and a chasm where it comes to relationship with God and their representation of God by the people. So it's a very slippery slope, and a lot of people that I've even talked to have dealt with that.
Wow. So when you mentioned church hurt, one commonality I believe is where that hurt coming from. Dolores, you mentioned about being a PK,
right?
And I'm a PK too. I'm a PK also. And so when you talk about that, what I'm hearing is basically it's coming from somebody with a degree that has some type of status.
Right.
Somebody who it's almost like we're in a classroom and we're students. Well, if this student who is as equal as I am says something about me in front of the class, you may not get that type of response as opposed to the most popular kid.
Right.
Because everyone likes the popular kid, so this popular kid says something, this popular kid may get more of a response or a laugh, and now the attention's on you. And so, when I think of church hurt, initially I would think about, first thing that would always come to my mind would be older women of the church would probably say something to a younger woman because of the way she was dressed, inappropriate. Now, I'm not going to say inappropriately, but more or less, it wasn't dressed to their standard.
Right.
And how women, young women have left the church because, we talked about the way they dress, but it goes much deeper than just the dress code, and we're going to touch on that. But right now, Dolores, you had a point on here, question about what makes church hurt different than any other type of hurt. And for those who are out there listening, Sophia said the judgment is stairs. You're absolutely right. Go ahead and drop your comments and your questions now, because it's about to get real touchy, I believe, and not necessarily a bad way, but we have to go from an uncomfortable position, an uncomfortable place, and so that's what we're trying to do right now. So, what makes church hurt different from other hurt?
I guess I'll jump in on that one. When I was sitting down, just kind of reflecting on, the basis of understanding why is church hurt different from I guess, from other peers or other things. And this is the thing that I kind of came up with. That church hurt differs from other type of pain because it's linked to a place that is understood to be a refuge or a place of safety. So the thing about it is that the world is already filled with pain. And people look at the church as a source of light, a place of refuge, a safe place where we can go to find help in areas that we feel like we need spiritual help, or a place of understanding in a place where nobody seems to understand. But it hurts more simply because the expectation is not met. And oftentimes when this does occur, the very opposite is met. For example, if I come to, let's say, the church, and let's say that I was struggling, hey, let's get uncomfortable. Let's say I was struggling with a sexual addiction, okay? And I turn around and several people that I might have been engaged with are in the very same pews that I'm in. And let's say that I'm coming to and I go forth in the church and I ask for prayer. I said, hey guys, listen, I'm struggling in this area and I really need some help. But instead of getting met with help, I get the stares that somebody said, I think it says Sophie, said that you get the glares of judgment, right?
Yeah.
So for someone who is new to the church or someone who is not a church person or raised in the church, that's an automatic turn on. And what you thought about the church then gets superimposed upon God, because if his representatives are judging me or making me feel that I shouldn't be in here because of my frailties of the things that I fall short on, that's transposed upon God. And that's not at all who the God that I serve is. But I think it's one of those things that you have to kind of look at as even us as representatives of the church or the kingdom, that we should take a look at how we approach people with their hurts and their issues with a sensitive eye.
Wow. Right. Dolores, please jump in.
Yeah, I totally agree. The thing that I notice is that, like, let's take your scenario and let's just expound on that a little bit, right? So we'll have, like, let's say a mother in the church say something to one of the sisters in the church about what she's wearing, right? So there may be, like, let's say an initial hurt done there, right? But what I found it in, at least in my experience, because I'm speaking more from the leadership perspective, because I've been a witness to that my entire life, and so what happens is, let's say that the sister goes to another leader in the church, right? And because sometimes we find that leaders aren't necessarily prepared to deal with the complexities of people, mental health issues, past issues that they've dealt with, then they don't really handle those situations well in the church. And so now we have compound issues that are happening. And then, if I'm the one who's paying the most tithe, and I'm giving, people problems, then I think maybe the pastor may side with me a little more, because, I am, the one who's giving more, so and we start having, those complex issues.
You have a lot of complex issues. I want to say this before I get to those comments. When you talk about what makes church hurt different, in my opinion, I just feel that you're going to a place where there's supposed to be healing. But instead of the healing, you're getting the hurt. And we're not talking about all churches. We're just talking about places where people have been hurt. And, people will call out the hypocrisy. Well, how you want to, like Tommy said, you come to a church, you're dealing with sexual addiction, you find other people in church that you probably participated within, or you know for a fact they're doing it, but some way, shape, form, or fashion is being turned around on you, and you're being down for it. And so it hurts different because the expectation is supposed to be, I'm supposed to come to a place where I am accepted. You're going to try to help me overcome whatever I'm dealing with. And instead, it's being pointed out more to the point where it's like, I feel more comfortable on the street.
Correct.
I feel more comfortable on the streets because at least on the streets, everybody was doing it and they knew it and they were real with themselves
Right.
to the point where we could acknowledge, okay, well, I'm on dope. I'm having sex every day. Or I'm doing this. There's no, I'm looking down on you, you're looking down on me. We all on the equal level playing field. But in the church, it's I'm doing it, but don't too many people know. Or I'm doing it, but I'm the reason why they're keeping the lights on in here, so they can't say anything to me.
Right.
Because if I leave and if my money leaves, then these doors gonna close. And so, like you said, equal level playing field. Did y'all want to add anything to that when I get to these comments? It almost feels like bullying. But he says it almost feels like bullying. Coach Taylor said, folks who don't operate in the spirit and feel as if they have the right to cast judgment on someone, sitting high and look low mindset.
Right.
So that's the thing. I believe that a lot of people claim to be operating in the spirit. Just because you fall out and shout doesn't mean you have the spirit.
Ooh, that's it.
And people, I believe people feel that since they do that, then they have the right to come down to others. When you're in the Lord's house, you should feel safe, and to find ridicule and judgment can be very hurtful. And that's my mom said that. So, and hey, Tom, we're gonna get to Greg because you know Greg is always gonna take a different perspective. So, I want you to hear this. What Greg said, you should be able. Greg, I want you to send the rest of that statement. It seemed like you didn't finish it. He said you should be able to come to church with your faults, not made comfortable to keep those faults. Words should make us uncomfortable, but instead the people do it.
I think that was good.
Wow.
Greg.
Okay.
I'm proud of Greg right now. I'm actually
That
proud of Greg. All right,
Yeah.
man. Hey, you're absolutely right. The words should make us feel uncomfortable, but instead it's people. And I know he's going to come on here and respond again, and he's going to talk about what probably a lot of people are not going to agree with. But Greg, whenever you're ready to send that comment in, I'm ready. And he said, I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. She was on my show the other week. She said it hurts more because I'm coming for refuge, and end up being broadcast to the church, and that's painful. Wow, you're coming for refuge, you're coming for a safe place. Instead, it's broadcasted. That has to hurt.
I wanted to comment on something that even Dolores had made mention of. A lot of people and a lot of leaders are not necessarily classically trained to handle the certain type of things that come along or going to walk through those church doors. And we come at it with this sense of being insensitive to whatever those triggers are, whatever those people are struggling with. Because a lot of people come in again looking for a place of safety, and then they find out they're in front of a firing squad.
Right.
Simply because, again, it's one of those things where we have to have a basic understanding of what our job and our role is as believers for those people who are coming into the body of Christ. Yeah. And I didn't want to go too far left with church jargon, but I have to get in where I fit in.
Hey.
This is the thing that bothers me the most, and we're gonna get through this. We're gonna talk about the hypocrisy, but I kind of want to kind of jump on that because if and again, I'm not coming against any pastors. I'm not calling out anybody in specific, but we have to start from our leadership, because the leadership, what basically happens in the congregation is going to be a reflection of that leadership. So if we have someone at the top, and that's more of a spiritual understanding, if we have someone at the top who's struggling with some issues, that's going to show up in their congregation. So when you have new people who are coming in to church trying to find this place of safety and refuge, and they've heard all this great stuff about this man Jesus, but then they find out the things that they read in the Bible and what they see are two different things. And that's for those who actually do read the Bible.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Lord, talk to us.
Yeah, I don't want to seem, I don't even know what the word is. The perspective that I'm coming from is from a leadership perspective, but I know that there are, other factors that, that play into it. It's just that, I feel led, to talk about it from the leadership perspective. And there's like names that we call people that's just kind of been thrown out there. Let's just put it out there, right? Let's say spiritual narcissism, right? So
that's what I want to get to next.
That's
exactly Yeah, so
yeah.
Segue, go ahead.
Yeah, like, let's just put it out there, and I know that we're taught, not to put labels on people and stuff like that.